Hopefully that works. Welcome everybody. Thank you guys all so much for coming. My name's Emily. If you don't know me, I work for the city of Tempe. I am also on the Tempe Rowers Association, which is the group that helps put on this meeting. I'll be speaking just a little bit and then I'll turn it over to Bill and he can talk about US rowing specific stuff. I just have the basic LOC stuff. So thank you for coming to Desert Sprints this year. We really are looking forward to having you. It looks like the weather is going to be great this weekend. It was a little questionable at the beginning of the week, but it looks like that's all been sorted out. So we're really excited to start seeing everybody. I am going to, let's see, I'm going to share my screen for everybody. Let's see, am I going to share my screen? Yes, here we go. So hopefully everyone can see this is our practice map if you're coming in from out of town. So just take a look at that while I'm talking here. Some basic regatta stuff. We have our pins just like we always do. We ask that coaches come and pick that up at our Regatta Central tent. We are going to have our warm-up ergs available next to our boathouse. So we'll have 20 ergs available. You are welcome to hop on those at any time. Send your athletes on over. They can use those whenever they want. We're going to, if you've been here before, we're going to be launching 8s, 4s, and quads off of our dock, which you can see on this practice map with marked by the letter D. All of singles and doubles will be going off the boat ramp, which is marked by the A on the practice map. The only way the practice map is different is that we do not allow people to practice in lanes 1, 2, or 3, which are on the south side, because those are on the wrong side of the lake for our regular traffic pattern. This will change for race day, but for practice time, if you're coming out tomorrow or Saturday, we just ask you not to go in lanes 1, 2, or 3. 4, 5, and 6, totally fine to use. When you have your boats approaching the dock, you're going to approach stern first, so then you can walk down bow first onto the dock. There will be people there assisting, pointing where to go, making sure that you're facing the right direction, all of that good stuff. When you walk onto the ramp with singles and doubles, you are going to approach bow first. We ask that people approach with oar locks open so they're ready to go and that you've already brought your oars down to either the dock or the ramp. There will be places to stage those. There will also be slings available for the, I'm sure, innumerable hot seats that we will have. We are fine staging boats for hot seats. All hot seats are going to come to the dock. So even if you're coming out of a single, come back to the dock, because that way it's just easier. You know, we'll have everybody on the dock and we can stage there, and it'll be a lot more convenient for everybody. We will have volunteers available on the dock to help out, but it's always going to be helpful if you can send some people down to help out with that. We ask that you tell your crews to make any adjustments once they get off the dock. What I don't want to see is boats sitting on the dock messing with their foot stretchers. Get off the dock, go and do that on the water. When you launch either off the dock or the ramp, there will be a launch available there that will tell you when it is safe to cross the course, but we're not far from the start line, so you should also be able to see. You will go straight across the course, as you can see in that practice map, and then we can go here to our race day map. You'll go straight across the course, and then you can proceed to the east end of the lake. You can go through the rural bridge if you would like. Just please make sure you bring a watch. We won't be chasing crews down if they go past the rural bridge. So just keep that in mind. There's plenty of space down there to warm up. It is a counterclockwise traffic pattern, and you might run into other people using the lake. We do not shut the lake for desert sprints. I'll go back to hot seating. If you are hot seating, that needs to be communicating while you are launching for the first event. So make sure you say, I'm launching now for this event. I'm going to be hot seating into this boat, either people or boats, whatever is hot seating. Communicate that to the dockmaster, and we will get you a red flag to carry with you, which will then let you cut the line as you come back to the dock. We will have, you can see here on this race day traffic pattern map, we will have, it's marked with an R. We will have a return buoy line. So if you are returning to the dock, you will keep that buoy line on your port side. So you will stay in between that buoy line and the race course. The reason that buoy line exists is because we will have some crews at some points rowing their boats back to our other boat storage area, which is past the finish line, and they will stay in between the buoy line and the wall. So keep the buoy line to your port as you're coming back to the dock. Our race course is a little bit backwards just because it's based off of our 2K course. So lane 1 is going to be on the far side, the south side of the lake. Lane 6 is on the north side of the lake. So you will see that the schedule, we start at lane 6 and work our way out rather than starting at lane 1 or starting in the middle, just to make it easier for our referees. But it will be starting with lane 6, not lane 1. Let's see. Please bring your own bow ball or bow numbers. We have every year people come up asking for bow numbers. We do not supply bow numbers for everybody. Please bring your own. If you are short because you have a lot of people racing in the same lane, come find me. We'll try to help you out as much as we can, or we will at least make it known to our officials that something is going on there. But we want to make this as easier as a regatta as possible for you guys. So come find me at any point. I'll be point of contact. I'll be there all day. So that's all I have for race course. We ask that when you send people to pick up medals, we have no problem with athletes picking up medals. Please make sure they know their event number and what time their event was when they pick it up. Make sure that the results, which will all be online, is marked as official. We will not pass out medals if the results are not marked official. So before the results are marked official, that'll say pending. Just make sure that it says official before you send someone to pick up the medals. I think that's all I got from me. I'm going to turn it over, Bill, to you. And then if we have questions, we can do that towards the end. Sound good?
Okay, and Emily, if you want, you can just leave the map up because I don't have anything show and tell.
Sounds good.
Really. So hello, my name is Bill Eldon. I am in Southern California. I've worked this regatta a bunch of times. I will do my best to channel my inner Robin Kenny this year. And I think Robin and I both, have a similar approach to the regatta. So, nothing really should be much different from before. As she would always emphasize, the way I always do that, we have this little book called The Rules of Rowing. You can see it online if you're interested. It's kind of thick. But the very first thing it says in the beginning in the rules of rowing is that the rules and the referees, our entire job is number 1, safety, and number 2, fairness of racing for competitors. So that is our main focus on the water as referees. Number 1, to make sure everybody is safe, that the same number of rowers come back to go in with the same number of body parts that they had when they left the dock, and the same number of racing shells. So a lot of what we do is just about making sure that everybody's safe on the water. There are a couple things that are a little bit different from most regattas that are probably similar to what we've done at Desert Sprints in the past. We have a couple of rules of rowing that are suspended for this regatta. Number 1, we're not weighing in lightweights and coxswains. That's on the honor system. Number 2, we will not have a referee staffed control commission as you launch that will be checking boats. So it is up to you as the competitors and coaches to check your boats for your safety equipment. Make sure you have a bow ball firmly attached. Make sure you have your heel ties done and that everything else is in order. Emily already mentioned that you need to have your own bow balls. So, if I'm on the dock, I may spot check a couple of boats going down, but it is on you to make sure that your equipment is safe. It was actually at this regatta once a number of years ago where I, as a referee, had to hold a singles rower by the hair after he had flipped so that he could try to untie his feet because his heel ties weren't done correctly and he couldn't get his feet out after he went upside down. So let's not have that happening this year. As Emily mentioned, you need to provide your own bow numbers. So everybody needs to make sure they know their event, know their time, know their bow number. Make sure you have a watch with you. We will not be chasing you down. We will try to start races on time. After you launch, as she mentioned, you'll go directly across 90 degrees perpendicular to course and then row up beyond the bridge if you want to warm up there. We will have a marshal up near the bridge somewhere, a referee and a marshal launch, who will call you to your race. So you should be in that area on the race course side of the bridge, somewhere around 10 minutes before your race time, kind of in order of your lanes. So we can filter you in. At 5 minutes to race time, we'll call you in. The rules of rowing state that you must be locked onto your stake boat and in your lane at 2 minutes to your scheduled race time. Normally, if you're not there at 2 minutes, you get a warning. And if you're not there at race time, we go off without you. In this particular race, what we're doing is rather than giving you a warning, there's just a 10-second penalty for being late to your race. If you are nowhere near the start area and it's race time, the starter will have the discretion of starting the race. If we see that you're making your best effort to get there and you're somewhere in the neighborhood and we can hold the race for you without upsetting the entire schedule, we will do our best. It is our plan to have everybody race. But if you are nowhere to be seen, you're not even in the right zip code, or you're not even in Tempe, when it's time for the race to go off, we may go off without you. So as I said, be up there around 10 minutes before. 5 minutes, we'll call you in. The normal start commands will be used. We will have two referees chasing the race. They will start the race from behind the race course from their referee launches. We don't have a separate start tower. So the standard flag signals apply. If you have questions about that, you can see me at the Regatta Central tent or somewhere in that neighborhood beforehand. The referee will say attention, raise a red flag, and then say go. Rowing is a flag sport, so it's not really a sound sport. As soon as you see that flag twitch on the word go, you go. Sometimes the wind is different, the sound is different, but when that flag goes, you are to take off. Make sure you know how to scull your bow in case we have a crosswind. If you're sitting at the starting line and trying to be locked on your stake boat, do not use rowing motions to pull yourself off the stake boat. Make sure you know how to scull your bow around if there's a crosswind. If for any reason you are not ready to start, the rules of rowing say, don't go. If the go command goes down and you don't think.
Uh-oh. Think you're frozen, Bill.
Hopefully he comes back. We'll give him a minute here. Let's see. There we go.
He's like a bad
Bill,
parent.
you froze for a second.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry,
when
hang
you
on.
went,
I
yeah,
got
you were saying what you should do if you were not ready to go when the start.
Yeah, so if you're not ready to go, I'm sorry, I had some crazy pop-up come up. If you're not ready to go, what the rules of rowing say, if you as the coxswain or the rower feel that I don't have a safe point, or there's some problem, or I'm struggling with something, just do not leave the start. When the tension go, if you just sit there, we'll call the race back, figure out what happened, and then restart the race. Once you leave the starting dock, you cannot protest the start anymore. So you can't go to the finish and then say, "Hey, at the start, I didn't have a good point." Your chance to contest that is just by not leaving the start in the first place. Okay. Beyond that, referees will be following the race. They'll be using the standard commands. We will try not to steer you. It's not my job to navigate down the course for you. Our job is just to make sure things are safe. So if we see that there's a problem developing because someone's straying out of their lane, the referee will call the name of the crew, raise a right flag, drop it to the side that you need to move to. If there's something terrible happening, they may wave a red flag and tell you to stop rowing. For if someone has gone off course and there's going to be a collision, but we will try to avoid that kind of stuff. So keep your head on the swivel, watch your lanes. This is a great fully buoyed course, so we really just have to stay within your own lanes, and everybody should be fine. At the finish, you will hear a horn. You will paddle out. Best thing to do is probably to row all the way through the bridge rather than turning right at the finish line, because then you might be perpendicular to that person that's coming in behind you. So row through the bridge, turn to starboard, and then come up the recovery lane, as Emily mentioned earlier. Just keep your head on the swivel. Be aware of other boats that might be doing various things at the finish line. Listen for the horn at the finish so they know that you're crossed. Beyond that, If for some reason you feel that there was a problem with the race and you want to file any kind of an objection with the referees, you must do that before leaving the finish area. So as soon as you cross the line, get your hand up. The referee will come over and find out, what the issue was that we need to address, and we'll do our best to address it on the water. Once you've rowed away from there, if you didn't protest on the race course at the finish line, there's not much we can do for you. So, otherwise, objections and protests will be handled according to the rules of rowing. So those are available to you online. That is basically all I have. So if there's any questions or comments, we could open it up for that. But otherwise, it's the usual regatta.
I had one more quick thing I knew I was forget to mention. There are a couple white buoys in between the rural bridge and the start line. They don't mean anything. They are just there to hold the course up to stop it from sinking to the bottom of the lake. So do not try to follow that as a lane line or anything like that. You can row right over them. They're all individual buoys. They're all independent of each other. They are just there to hold the course tight. So do not worry about that. We have red buoys for the first 100 meters, solid red buoys for the first 100 meters. We have one small red buoy, 250 meters in. We have a large orange buoy at the 500-meter mark. And then our final 250 meters are red buoys. So Nancy, go ahead.
Hi, I'm sorry. I missed the where you want us 10 minutes before, like what you mean by up there.
Well, you're going to be somewhere around the bridge on the race course side of the bridge.
Okay.
No, just because if you go beyond the bridge and you're up on the other side, you may have trouble getting through traffic to get to the race course in time. We
Okay.
will call you in at 5 minutes to go, or as soon as the other last race has left. So just be in the neighborhood. Emily also mentioned the red buoys first 100 meters. That is the standard breakage zone. So since we have red buoys, it's easy to watch. If you have actual mechanical breakage in the boat and you stop rowing in that area, we will stop the race and we will try to find out what happened. If it's just that your oarlock came undone or something, that's not breakage, and then we will have to assess a warning and bring you back. But the first 100 meters, red buoys, breakage zone, stop rowing, we'll stop the race. Do we have any other hands up?
This is Jeff Strickland. Xavier, did
hi,
I hear
Jeff.
that there will be stake boats?
Yes, there will be stake boats. With that being said, we are a couple volunteers short. So if you have some extra volunteers, I think we'll be fine. But yes, there will be stake boats. So yes.
So that means
And
that
then-
you can come straight in from behind the
Yes.
boats. You don't need to come across the course.
Right.
You'll be able to come in your lane.
Yes.
Ella has her hand up.
Yeah, so just for the sake of clarification, so the practice course versus the racing course, just making sure that when the boats are coming back in, that we're going through the bridge and back around like how it is in the racing staging versus going with the flow of traffic and cutting back across.
So the practice map, which is now up on the screen, hopefully. So the practice course, we're going to keep a standard counterclockwise traffic pattern. So you can practice in lanes 4, 5, and 6. And then when you get through the finish line, you'll go through the mill bridges and you'll turn to the south side. So you'll turn to port and then you'll come around on the far side of the course back to the dock.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
And these maps will be posted at the marina. I will get the practice map posted tomorrow for people that are starting to come in town. That will be posted near the boathouse, the blue tarp area. So if you need to come and check it, it's also on Regatta Central. These are on the venue tab under Regatta Central.
Wonderful, thank you.
So for practice, we're turning to port at the end, and for the actual race, we're turning to starboard?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, so the practice, what you're having to do is make a turn to port, row all the way back down to the course toward the start,
Yes.
and come back in that way.
And Emily, you mentioned in the beginning, did you say stern first on the dock for 4s and 8s?
So yeah, so when you approach the dock, what will happen is you'll walk across like our concrete pad area, you'll walk past Regatta Central, you'll walk up to us, and then you'll turn your stern to go towards the start line. So that way, when you walk down to the dock, you'll be bow first onto the dock.
Oh, okay.
That way we don't have to spin boats down in the tight area at the top of the dock, we can spin in that area.
Yeah, it's just stern first coming down the ramp, and then
Yeah.
you just reverse direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no really room to spin a boat around down there. Anybody else? So I will be, before the race and for a large part of the race, I'll be hanging out somewhere around Regatta Central area or the dock or wherever I may orbit around a bit, but I'll try to make myself available if anybody has any questions. The referees will be meeting, an hour plus before the first race. So we will be down there at the referee tent near Regatta Central. So I'll be available for any kind of questions, or if you have newbies that haven't raced before and they want to understand the flag commands better, I'd be glad to do a demonstration, whatever they need to know. So I'll be down there and make myself available.
Where's the referee tent on this map?
The referee tent is kind of, so if you look at the D on the practice map, it's kind of just right above that.
And that's where we get medals?
There will be a tent that is labeled Regatta Central that is in the parking lot area, I believe. Let's see if I can. Do people
there we
see
go.
the venue map?
Yeah, so the referees will be right by the letter J, like right in
Yeah.
front of the boathouse area.
And then the Regatta Central where you pick up medals will be at the tent marked A.
Hey, Bill
This
from
is also
referee.
on Regatta Central, so. Yes, question, Linda.
So last year at Desert Sprints, as we were going through the different events, occasionally we would be instructed in the double to not launch from the normal launching space, but to actually go to the dock to launch. Is that something that might happen this year, or definitely if you're in a double, you're going to be launching?
It is possible. I'm going to double check the schedule tomorrow and make sure. I think what happened last year is we had the men's and women's double were back to back with each other, and that sent way too many boats to the ramp.
Right.
So what we're going to try to have this year is we're going to have better communication between the ramp and the dock, so that if people do need to go over to the dock, we can try to tell you ahead of time, rather than, oh no, you walked all the way over here, go to the dock. We'll try to be
Right.
much clearer with that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Super. Thank you.
Did somebody have a question for me? Before Linda? No?
Awesome.
Okay, no hands up.
Uh,
That's basically what I have. So as I
Perfect.
said, I'll be available if people have questions or whatever.
Yep.
Be glad to help out however I can.
Yep. And I'll be around as well. You can pretty much just ask anyone for me. Most people know me, so they'll know where to find me. So awesome. Well, thanks everybody. We're looking forward to having you this weekend. We'll
Thank you.
see you on
you.
Saturday or Sunday or even tomorrow. We'll see you.
Hey,
Yep, and it looks like Emily has arranged for like completely awesome weather on Sunday. So
Great job.
so far it's
Fingers
looking really
crossed.
good.
Awesome. No final questions, anybody?
I don't know, Bill, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, will we have this Charles, will we have know our launch drivers at the early morning meeting
Yes.
on Sunday?
Yeah. He's got the list and he'll be working on, I guess, matching personalities or whatever he does.
Working
Okay,
his magic. Awesome.
that
Well,
means I'm
thanks,
driving my
everybody.
own boat. Okay.
Right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks
Thank
everyone
you.
for
Thank you.
coming. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yay.
Thank you. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye all.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.